Welcome back to Hey Kentucky. Our discussion of the coronavirus outbreak moves to sports now. Churchill Downs will have an update on the status of the Kentucky Derby as soon as tomorrow. According to trainer Bob Baffert, who spoke at Santa Anita on Saturday, Churchill officials are saying they don't want to run the annual May event without crowds, so the race could be postponed until summer or fall. Churchill will make that announcement official in the morning. As for Keeneland, in Lexington, the latest word is that the track has canceled the April sale and the spring meet. The track is currently closed to all non-essential guests and horsemen. Keith, this is, of course, another thing you just would never dream of seeing coming is that the Kentucky Derby doesn't happen on the first Saturday in May.
I mean, I think it has happened every year since 1875 on the first Saturday in May, and it's the first leg of the Triple Crown. And now there could be no Triple Crown. We may just have a Derby in September. It's unfathomable. And, you know, just the fact that they're doing this. I talked to one guy that I used to work with in Louisville who said, well, you know, they've always said that it's too early for these horses to race as 3-year-olds and to kind of gauge how good they are. So maybe by doing it in September, they're going to like this area. Maybe they'll end up doing it later in the year. Certainly for this year, it seems like that's the way we're going with this because of this coronavirus.
Yeah, and you know, the Derby's a qualifying event essentially now, so
Sure.
You've got to have all these prep races.
Yeah.
So, you know, will there be one at Keeneland? The spring meet's canceled. Will they have a meet in June, say? You know, we don't know.
To have the stakes races they had that lead into the Derby, exactly, in Oaks.
Oh, man. All right, of course, the worlds of college and high school basketball have absolutely been turned upside down since we last talked about them on this show. Coach Cal called into ESPN SportsCenter last week to talk about the SEC and NCAA tournaments being canceled. Like the rest of us, he's upset about the abrupt end to the season, especially on behalf of his players. He says they could have won a title.
I hope our fans take on this team. If we'd have been in the Final Four, won a national title, this may have been their most favorite team that I've coached here in 11 years. But they didn't get a chance to be that team. They won their league by 3 games. Went on the road and won the last one, which was a crazy, crazy game. But they don't have a chance to live that last moment, whether you're going to win or lose, which will be with them the rest of their life. And that's, for me, the hard thing to swallow.
The current Cats took one last photo together on their way back from Nashville. Of course, tournaments were also canceled on the high school level, dashing the Sweet 16 dreams for boys and girls hoops in Kentucky. Keith, I mean, that's the saddest part because Cal's right. Every team is essentially defined by what they do in March.
Yeah.
Every team is. Nobody remembers the other stuff.
Can you imagine if this was the undefeated team?
Yeah, no.
And now they don't get a chance to even prove or find out if they're going to lose that championship game.
I know.
I mean, this is that's the hardest part, and the harder part is seeing seniors who don't get a chance at that one more moment, or
and in high school, the Sweet 16
I know,
seniors.
exactly,
Oh
or a
my
Hofstra
gosh.
team that doesn't get to play for the first time in however many years. Rutgers back in it forever.
Dayton
had a chance to win it.
They will never. I mean,
and they'll never know.
No. And they'll probably never replicate
Yes.
the season that they had this year.
And you're right, the Sweet 16, I mean, that's hard to believe because it at least got started on the girls' side. The boys' side doesn't even get going, and now those seniors, yeah, we made it. And for some schools, like, you know, Clark County girls, they went 4 straight years. Okay, that's fine, but some hadn't been in 10 years or more.
Yeah. Oh, it is heartbreaking. I understand it, but it's heartbreaking.
And we have to say, we understand it.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean you can't be upset about
Yes.
it. Teams in the Ohio Valley Conference also got bad news today. The OVC has canceled all intercollegiate competitions, including conference championships, through the end of the current academic year. In Kentucky, this affects EKU, Murray State, and Morehead State. All team practices have been suspended until April 3rd, at which time the situation will be reevaluated. Keith, at that point, what's to reevaluate? There's no championships going to be
nothing to get ready for. No games, no championship. I mean, I guess you can get ready for the next year, except for the seniors. But, you know, all right, so Yale was the first, or the Ivy League was the first, I should say, to say we're not going to do a conference tournament. Everybody kind of followed suit.
Yeah.
Are we seeing the same thing with the OVC? That they're just all going to say that's it?
I think.
Nothing's going to, and really it may come down to the NCAA saying that's it
Well,
for
there's
everybody.
too many intercollegiate, the OVC doesn't only just play the OVC.
Correct.
So it's got to be a
Yes.
domino effect.
Yeah.
All right, still ahead on Hey Kentucky. We want to look at some of the positive things that are unfolding as we cope with this new reality. That includes some of the national recognition for Governor Beshear's handling of the crisis. Don't go away.